Hi lovelies, welcome back to Chidera X Lifestyle. Well, if this is your first time stopping by, much love from here. You can go through my page, see what you like, and watch the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, invite more people to join the family. So today I'll be talking about the very first things you should do as an international student when you come to Canada. So the first things you should get sorted, done and dusted, and like around your second week, maybe first week here in Canada. So the very first thing I did is I got my SIM card. I got a SIM card to be using because trust that once you cross the international waters, your Airtel, your MTN, or whatever you're using is not going to work except you have an eSIM. Well, I was using Wi-Fi. I use WhatsApp. There's WhatsApp, so I had to get a SIM. I currently use Chatterer, and I have a plan. I don't have a student plan because I was advised against student plans, but yeah, I have a SIM. That was the very first thing I did. I got a SIM. I changed my number and everything. The second thing I did, and I would advise you to do, is get your SIN, your social insurance number. You can just go to Service Canada anywhere near you. It's everywhere. Just put it on your Google map, go there with your study permit and your international passport and get a SIN. You would need this SIN to be able to work, I guess. You will need a SIN like generally as you're staying here in Canada. Second thing I would advise you to do, which would have been the first thing, it should have been the minus first thing to do, because I advised you in one of my videos like you should get an apartment before you come to Canada because it's not as easy. I can assure you, especially with the housing crisis now, it's not going to be so easy getting an apartment or getting a place to stay. But if you don't get an apartment from your country, the first thing you should do here is book get an apartment, get accommodation. So what I did was that I booked an Airbnb and I stayed there while I was looking for accommodation. I was going to houses to see which one would be best fit for me. You can use Kijiji or you can use Facebook Marketplace, and I mentioned it in my other video on like my life update. So yes, that would be very, very helpful to book from your country. You can find a place on Facebook Marketplace and ask for maybe a virtual interview, or ask someone that is currently living here in Canada to help you out. You will need a co-signer. That's like somebody that's a Canadian citizen to sign with you when you're signing a lease for an apartment. And when you're looking for an apartment, I would advise you to find one that's close to bus stops, because winter is coming. You don't want to walk in the snow for like a long period of time before you find a bus stop. You don't want to get an apartment that's too far from your closest bus stop. You want an apartment that's reasonably close to your school. So find out where your school is. Find neighboring places, neighboring or neighborhoods that find houses that are renting in that neighborhood, because you want somewhere that's quite close to your school, especially if you have plenty classes during the week. Yes, you want to find somewhere close to your school. Also, you want to find a place that's close to supermarket, grocery stores, and places that you can easily run, buy some supplies, some home supplies. You wouldn't want it to be far from there that you have to like use a bus to get to a place. You can still use a bus, but like you won't have to use two buses to go to just buy grocery and everything. If not, you'll be buying food every day, and buying food is not cheap, baby. It's not. So those are the things you should look out for when you're apartment hunting, and that's one thing you want to get down, because if not, you're going to pay hefty fees. You're going to pay crazy hefty fees in Airbnbs, and you don't want to do that, because I know I had to pay quite a lot, because initially I booked Airbnb for just 2 days, and it's not a task that I could have done in 2 days. So I had to book for a week, and I found a place in a week. Then another thing you would like to do when you come here is, after you've gotten your accommodation and after you've gotten here, you want to know your surrounding. You want to know your school. That's very important. You want to know where your school is and how to get to your school. You don't want to, the first time to get to your school would be the time that you're having classes. You'll be late. So you want to know which buses to use when you're going to your school. And so yeah, you want to check out the school before you actually start. That's something I did. So I went to the school to see what it was like. When I went to school to check it out, I actually got my student card and my U-Pass. And that brings me to my next point. You would want to get your student card and your U-Pass. Your student card is very helpful. It's helpful on my campus because you need it to get into the library and places like that. And then you can also use it to get discounts at stores. Student discounts are very helpful. And then your U-Pass. Let me take a break and talk about this U-Pass. The bus system, right? In as much as you can type where your location, where you want to go on the map, and it's going to tell you what buses to take, it can be so confusing knowing how much to pay and what the slip they give you is for. It took me a while before I figured out, and I spent a lot before I got my U-Pass. Now with my U-Pass, I obviously paid for my U-Pass with my tuition. I tap and I go. So like, I don't know how much they're deducting. If not, before, I'll dip my hand in my purse, I'll spread out the coins in my hand, I'll not start like picking. It was embarrassing. I had to wait for a long period of time, and I didn't even know that the slip they give you is valid for a period of time, so you don't need to pay when you're changing your bus. I was just paying as I was changing the buses, so it was confusing for me. Your U-Pass is going to be very helpful. If it's something you've paid for, like with your school fees, you need to go and collect that thing from school with your student card. It's important. And then if not, you can get a Press2 card. People use a Press2 card, they load it and tap and go. When I said knowing your surroundings, it's important to be able to move around. Like I said, the first time you're going to school, you don't want to be confused, you don't want to be late and all. So yeah, then I'm going to talk about your school like the school. You're going to want to enroll for your classes. I enrolled for my classes in Nigeria because I could do it online. So I enrolled for my classes. Then you want to enroll for your classes, or make sure it's something you've done. If you're confused, you can always meet up with your graduate advisor and ask her which is what and what is this and what is that. For my masters, there was the course option and there's the thesis option. So I went to my graduate advisor and I was like, oh, which is which should I do? Like, what are the pros and the cons? What are the pros and the cons? So yeah, basically that's that. Then you would also want to attend. This is one advice I'll give anybody. I've given my friends that came after me. You want to go for every single orientation. You would need it. You would need the orientation they're giving you, and even the ones they're not giving you. That's why you're here on YouTube. So you want to go for their orientation. Your orientation will tell you a lot of their packages, their school packages, the rules, things that you'll miss ordinarily if you didn't go for the orientation. And you're new to the country, you're new to the school, you're new to the system. Don't miss out, don't lazy it, don't sit it out, don't miss out on any orientation. You would actually regret it, and I'm not just saying it, like you would regret missing out on any orientation. It's extremely informative. You have questions, you can ask questions, they tell you a lot. It's so helpful. Don't miss out on any orientation. I don't know if I've talked about this, I don't think I mentioned, you want to get a bank account, because if you're using Uber, they don't collect cash. There are certain things that don't collect cash. People are not collecting cash here. Even here, it's tap and go. You tap your card and go. Like they activate Apple Pay and stuff like that. So you want to get a bank account, deposit your money, get a card, because you're going to be using your card a lot. You don't want to be carrying cash around. So I got a bank account. I opened a bank with TD Bank, TD Canada Trust, and I currently have a card. So yes, when you've gotten your phone number, just go and get a card. You would need it, honestly. What did I use to open my bank account? Always just carry your international passport. Your first week, just carry your international passport with you. You won't know when you would need it. So just carry your international passport with you in case you need to clarify anything. Just stay on the safe side. Yeah. Be careful with your U-Pass. You do not want to misplace that U-Pass on the bus. If you know my story of my U-Pass, you don't want to misplace that U-Pass on the bus. If you have not seen my story, you guys should actually check out my life updates. Check out my life updates and just see it. And if there's any other thing you would like to know, I basically just brushed through this. I ran through it, so I try to keep it 100% with you. And if there's anything you would like to know, comment below. But basically, these are the first things you should do as you arrive in Canada as an international student. Thank you guys for coming to my channel. Thank you guys for being you, for being a part of my Canada journey, from listening to me, for listening to me. Thank you for your comments. I see you. I see my #1 fans. I love you guys. I should actually do something for my #1 fans, you know. People that are always there in my comment section. I love you guys. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share. You need to tell a friend. This is quality content, if I do say so myself. Yeah, and I do. So you need to, like, you know, tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm here to answer your questions, okay? Like, I've experienced certain things, so you don't need to. You can just come and learn from me. Thank you guys. Love you guys.